So we have a special guest on Can Do FM. We have Michael from Mind. Now, Mind is a mental health charity, and for Mental Health Awareness Week, Michael, I wanted to ask you a few questions. So how important do you think mental health is, and especially in young people?
It features in all our lives, and I think one of the big features of what's happening to all of us recently is that, we're all experiencing different emotions. So of whatever age we are, whether it's kind of young school age children or nursery children missing their friends and missing that routine, to older teenagers missing the social side, the kind of the physical presence. We're all great at talking on social media. I think we've realised now a message that we've been trying to get across for a long time is that mental health features in all our lives. It's not just when mental health is bad. You have good mental health and poor mental health, the same as we have good physical health and poor physical health. It works in equilibrium with each other. And this is a time where our emotional well-being is more important than ever.
Yeah, and do you think there's any stigma or misunderstanding around mental health? Because I think sometimes it can go a bit under the radar and people just think it can be teenage angst in younger people.
Is this something that you've come across, Charlotte? You're saying
with some people, yeah.
Yeah, they get that. I see that. I mean, myself, I'm 58 now, so I can still remember though, and I can still, because those feelings of when I was younger, thinking if I really said what was going on in my head, people wouldn't get it, and being put down to being moody. I can remember that, but I think it's more than that. We all get bad days. We all have times when we're moody or this angst and have bits and pieces, and it's so easy to dismiss in a younger person that's just kind of growing up, or it's hormonal, and that can be a bit patronising sometimes. I think what we need to be aware of is the differences or the impact that's happened. Yeah, there's a big difference between a short-term behaviour and somebody getting stressed out or kind of acting out or whatever, to kind of the long-term impact. And when we're on the lookout for, we call it, so sometimes invitations, unspoken invitations by people's actions. If somebody is a bit more withdrawn than usual, or the eating habits change, or the drinking habits, or the social media habits, or sleeping habits, I think it's those changes in pattern that are kind of out of sequence. And I think it's too easy just to dismiss something. It's suppose it relates to this kind of the idea of this stigma, is that we're able to talk about it more freely these days, but still it will get dismissed. I know I've spoken to young people quite recently and reminded them about the services that were there, and the response was, but then people will know I've got a mental health problem. So yeah, that unfortunately stigmas can get in the way of people getting help, but more than ever there's help there, and there's discreet ways of seeking help, isn't there?
Yeah, and especially with the coronavirus situation at the moment, in what ways do you think the current pandemic could be affecting people's mental health? And are there any ways to relieve any of these issues?
Well, let's start with the positive, because for some people, this has brought out the best in them, and it's given them an opportunity to shine. And people are suddenly realising that they're valued and useful and needed and respected in a way that they perhaps hadn't been. They've been beavering away, helping people in the background. And there's lots of heroes kind of just stepped out there who are shopping for people, or making an extra phone call, or extra time on Instagram to check that people are all right. Fits in with the theme next week for Mental Health Awareness Week of kindness. So for some people, that, positive side, that because compassion and all those positive emotions are part of mental health as well. So I think I'm seeing an increase in that. I'm also seeing an increase in kind of a shared anxiety, and more people are saying, a couple of people said, is this what you've been living with all these years? Because I'm getting it now, right? Because anxiety and depression has been part of my life for a long time, and it's kind of, oh yeah, welcome to my world. And people like me who are used to adapting and used to finding ways of coping are actually thinking, well, maybe try this because this helps me. So in some senses, That's a plus because it's a bit easier to talk about. But I'm worried that there's a lot of people out there who are suffering in silence and not reaching out. And people are realizing that this is going on now for more than a few weeks. And it's the long-term things. It's the impact. It's the aftermath. People are grieving, not just because of bereavement, but because we haven't had rites of passage from leaving school, have we? We haven't had end-of-term parties or moving up a year, or people are losing jobs without having a leaving due. People are losing income. So I think there's probably problems building up that we're, as a community, we're going to have to deal with.
Yes. And you were talking about schools. How do you suggest younger people could cope with the idea of going back to school amidst the uncertainty of everything?
My suggestion would be talk. Please don't keep your worries and anxieties to yourself. Because if you're feeling that way, other people will be feeling that way. You're not alone in thinking that. And we can help each other, can't we? So it's important to share those anxieties, because I bet your teacher is just as anxious, if not more anxious than you. And they're expecting you to, I think people are expecting it to be difficult. So please don't hold back of saying and express it. And sometimes when you've said it out loud, that's part of it as well.
Yeah.
And if we can be honest with each other and be kind to ourselves as well as being kind to each other, it's not a sign of weakness. In some sense, it's a sign of strength to say, actually, I'm finding this difficult. And that's whether you're going back to school, back to work. Some people who are furloughed, having time off work, will find it difficult to readjust. Reading that up to 80% of people have been very, very strict during lockdown and stayed away. They've not ventured out to shops or done exercising. They're going to be anxious and worried about getting back to whatever the new normal is, aren't they? So we really are in this together, and we can help each other. Does that make sense?
Yeah, definitely.
And talking about it like with you now, this conversation is part of it, isn't it?
Yeah, it's all very helpful. And what kinds of things do you offer at Mind to help people better their mental health?
So Mind in Furness is mainly, we focus on self-help. Sometimes we call it guided or supported self-help. So we help people to help themselves and teach those tools. So we're having to readapt. So at the moment, we're doing everything by phone, sometimes by Zoom. We're talking to people face to face if they want to. People are getting used to that. We're not doing the group sessions that we used to. So we're relying on our social media and getting booklets and information out and making good use of the resources we've got. But we're keeping in contact regularly with about 200 people a week. And now we're all learning how to do Zoom sessions. So we're going to be shortly having some discussions online with people where that's appropriate, where they've got the means to do that. Sometimes, we've got hundreds of leaflets on different topics, which we can post out to people. It's helping. Maybe if somebody picks a subject like sleep or stress or money worries or studying, excuse me, we can send a booklet out on that and then follow up with a phone call to see how. So we're adapting. And as soon as we can go back to seeing people face to face, we'll do that. There is something else I'd like to mention. There's another organisation I'm with. It's called Every Life Matters, and that's a suicide awareness charity in Cumbria. And I know in the past Can Do helped us promote our beer mat campaign at Christmas, and we got a lot of these beer mats or brew mats if they're not in a pub, because they went to Furness College and sixth form and some schools as well. And this booklet kind of breaks down in little bits about corona anxiety, stress buckets, a little plan that you can do for yourself, section on listening, very important section on deal with thoughts of suicide. There's lots of information in there. We've got 13,000 out already by using shops and organisations that are delivering food and medicines to people. Just got another 10,000 in the boot that I collected yesterday. So we need to get this out. So if anybody's got ideas of where I can distribute these to, Asda took 1,000 from me. I've sent some to BAE. So if any employers, any organisations, we're going to send some to schools so that staff can pass them around. They're suitable for any age to read. It's all easy stuff, but we've done it in the form that let's discuss, and all this is on our website as well. Very important thing, if I can add as well, is that we're sharing a lot. Mind works in partnership with all the other organisations, whether it's Age UK, whether it's Furness Carers, Disability Association, Citizens Advice, Safer, that supports people through self-harm. I'm going to kicking myself because I'm going to be forgetting people, but Drop Zone, that supports young people, the Barrow families. We're working together. There's much, much more behind the scenes work going on now. We're seeing how we can support each other and share resources. Excuse me. So there is a lot of help out there. It's different from before, but we're trying to make it as positive and accessible as possible. I'd love to hear any responses, any ideas from people. Make use of our Instagram, Facebook and Twitter, or email us. You find us at info@mindinfurness.org.uk. There's all kinds of ways, or just our existing phone number, which you can find if you just look us up as 827-094, and we can call you back. So we can keep in touch. Please keep in touch with us.
Yeah, wow. I think it's great that you can reach out to so many people. Thank you for talking to me, Michael, today. I'm sure you've helped a lot of people during this and just in life in general. So thank you.
Well, thank you very much for the opportunity. It's really important. It's very valuable that you give us time to do this. So thanks for everything you're doing. And thanks to Can Do for keeping us all smiling and keeping us together through this.